Here with the Rolex 2015 show jumping preview. Another great course by Richard Jeffries, and I'm going to walk you through each one. So have Sally here zoom in. First fence is actually behind the gazebo. We can't quite see it there. I think the horses, it's a lot to look at in general in looking at this course. A number of these fences he has set near enough to the wall, which I think is going to be, ultimately it's going to play a factor because there's a patch house today and it's a whole lot of atmosphere, and a lot of these horses really haven't been in this sort of environment often. Personally, I think I'd be coming in, sort of rolling back to this little Churchill Downs sort of looking fence, the gray one near enough. I think that probably will have the most rails of any here would be my guess. So I'd sort of show them that, head out around the perimeter of the arena just to let them get right up next to the wall, so in the end they get accustomed to that. Coming to the first fence, we're passing by the blue Range Rover over in the far corner. First fence is just a nice forgiving oxer. We've got roughly 9 strides. I wouldn't be too fixated on it to the second fence, but I would use that as a reference. If I'm getting up there in 8, then I know every other line in this course is going to be a little bit tighter than I first expected. But 2 to 3, nice 7 strides. I don't know, 3 feet long or so. It's a touch forgiving. Roll right after it, probably just around the fish. I think time allowed will be a factor here. I don't think an inside turn that early is warranted, but I think you'll have to move on through that turn. 4AB, 2 strides, a little bit steady, a lot to look at. I'd actually be jumping this slightly left to right. If you're dead straight to it, you're going to be hitting that or heading right to that Rolex clock. I think it's just enough to be slightly distracting, so better off to jump out into the open space. We've got the 2 strides there. Then hanger right from 4 up to 5, which again, I don't think we can see. It's a Liverpool. It's actually a water tray, so if you're unlucky enough to have a horse that's spooky with Liverpools, this is sort of the worst kind because it's got actual water sitting in it. But for 5 to 6, we've got a normal 6 strides. There is, then we're going to hang a left after it, roll back to the triple, the Rolex triple coming towards us. There's an inside turn if necessary, and it'll be very interesting, again, watching the first couple horses, how tight this time allowed is. But after that FEI, purple and white, you can hang a left inside the Rolex clock coming to the triple. The triple, I think, is set pretty forgiving. It's a ramped oxer going in, 1 stride to 2 stride. The distance is, I think, quite reasonable. Where I would predict right off the bat being the most tricky aspect of this course, there's either direct 7 to this Churchill one, or you can stay out a little bit steady in 8. But the jump itself and then all the concrete that's right behind it is sort of a very monotone thing, and it's set a little bit of an off striding. So I think the riders are going to have to make a choice there, be accurate. If you're going to do the 7, get up to it early so you can support them a touch out the vertical. 8 strides, especially with an adjustable horse, might be your best bet. Hang a left after that. The sort of mountain looking fence is a triple bar. You're going to be heading, the riders will be heading directly towards, there's a Rolex sign on the wall there. You want to have a nice broken line. You can see where Sarah Kozlov is right now. And she's about 8 strides in, sort of 10 or 11, whatever it might be. But long story short, we got to get square before you get to 10. 10 to 11 is a steady 4 strides. So I think it's very, very important. Again, you have your horses completely square so they can jump around as possible around 10. Up in the 4 to 11, we're going to roll back left. Again, sort of a spot where time might be a factor, especially after a steady 4 strides. I think probably land and move on a touch. Steady again to that gate, and going to the last, we've got, it sort of walks in a little bit steady 9, but I think you'll see sort of a direct 8. It's a very solid, that tobacco sort of jump is a very solid shape to it and appearance, so I think you can sort of gallop down to it. And that is your last jump on this course, so it'll be very interesting to watch, and can't wait to see how it all unfolds.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Doug.
Yeah, no problem.